All right. Hello, everybody. Today we wanted to go over some of the biggest updates that we've seen hit the Sisu platform. And this is tackling a big problem. It's a very diverse problem that a lot of teams have, which is tracking their commissions and their splits and their fees and all the different kind of adjustments that happen from when a gross commission amount hits your team or hits your statements, all the way down to what actually gets paid out, who gets paid what are the fees involved there, and then how do we report on that. So it's once again quite a big problem and something that we've really built in a flexible manner. We're really looking to make a lot of improvements to this. Every team is different. Every team has different requests. And we're really trying to dial this in for everyone. And the first thing that we've built that we've kept in mind as we've built this is the flexibility to be able to do exactly what you need to do. It might not be as pretty right now as you want. That's why it's still in beta. But you're going to be able to do and track the things that you need to track in the way that you need to track them. And it's going to work. So keep that in mind. You'll notice that on your transaction sheet, so if I go into any transaction that I'm working with, I can just go ahead and hit the drop down and I can pull up my commission form, right? So I have one of those commission forms pulled up here. You also notice that there's a new section of your admin console, which is commissions. So this is where I can set up all different kinds of adjustments and fees and deductions and additions that will happen to my commission amount. So you'll notice I have things like a referral fee that automatically gives out 25%. That's a deduction and it's a percentage. I got E&O, that's an amount, that's $75. I got, royalty fees of 6% or a transaction fee collected that actually adds to my GCI, $495. So I can set these up however I need to and add them in. And as I'm working through this commission sheet, I'll just be able to plug them in and it'll automatically do the calculations for me. I also have entities here. So different ways that I can take these numbers that are being paid out of my company, for example, and specify exactly where they're going. What is the external entity? Is it another company that you're working with? Is it your corporate office? All kinds of ways that you can attribute these expenses or incomes that are happening on your commission form. So once you have that all set up, and that's something that you're probably going to be continually adjusting as you go, adding in new things and new adjustments, but you'll get down to your commission form. And so when you start with your commission form, you have some numbers that have already been entered in. So this is a buyer that closed on, this is the closing date here. And I probably, as this has been tracked, there have been estimated numbers that have come into the system. So the agents or the team has been forecasting and saying, yeah, we think this deal is going to close at 500,000. The GCI is going to be 15,000. And the agent split, the primary agent split on that is going to be $7,500, right? So we got those numbers. I don't need to worry about team income quite yet. You might have a number in there that you've been using for forecasting. It may or may not be correct. Don't worry about it for now. Just leave it, because as we work through this form and we update it, it's all going to come together and it's actually going to calculate that for you. So first thing we need to worry about is making sure, okay, my transaction amount is 500,000. So I verify that that's truly what the transaction closed for. And the gross commission income was 15,000. And then let's say I had a referral. This was actually a referral that I'm paying out. So we'll add in that referral. We'll say it's a deduction. It's a percentage, 25%. I already have this set up. I may have an external entity that I'm actually attributing this to, or I can just leave it empty. But I'll add that in. It's going to subtract that 25%. So it's subtracting 25% from this GCI and giving me my adjusted GCI. So now this is the amount that's going to be split between the agents on my team. And I may have other adjustments outside of referrals. So I might add in, for example, I might add in a royalty fee, brokerage royalty, or a cap amount paid, or all kinds of different things that I might be adding in here. So I'll just keep it simple for now, and I won't add in any of those. But you can add those in, and that will also adjust down this adjusted GCI number to give you the amount that's being split between your agents. And now you'll notice that it's using this same ratio, this 50-50 ratio. So I want to make sure that this is adjusted according to the agent split. This agent has a 50% split on Facebook leads. And so their GCI is 15,000. Agent paid income is 7,500. I've made this referral adjustment, and now it's adjusted that down based on those ratios that I had already entered in up here, right? So now I got that 56.25 is going to the brokerage, and 56.25 is going to the primary agent on this deal, right? Now, if there's another agent, say this agent worked this deal 50-50 with another agent, I can go ahead and add that agent in. I can say, the agent is Trevor. The reason is he's another agent that's working the deal. He's going to get 50% credit on the dashboard. So that's saying that Trevor is going to show half a deal closed on his dashboard as well. And the type can either be an amount or a percentage. So I'm going to say he's getting a percentage of paid income. He's going to get 50% of that paid income. And I'll add this. And now you'll see it's taking that 56.25. So this percentage that's going to the agents, and it's splitting it up, and it's saying half of that's going to Trevor, half of that's going to BC, and the other half of that's going to the team. And it's also saying that Trevor's getting 50% credit for that. And then as I work down this form, I can add in some post-split adjustments too. So maybe, for example, Trevor had to pay $100. He has $100 of his paycheck automatically go to charity, or maybe he has a cap that he needs to pay there, or this agent might have a cap that they need to pay there. And I can add that adjustment in as well. So it will adjust and actually give me what this final payment number is going to be. Additionally, I can add in adjustments to the team's income and say, the team actually paid for marketing costs on this. So we're going to say, listing marketing expenses, it was $575 is what they paid, or, they paid $475 or whatever it is. I can add that in, and that's going to adjust that and actually show me what the team's profitability on this deal is. So I can factor in all kinds of different fees and adjustments to these different things. Now, one question that we've gotten quite a bit is, what if I'm paying an agent a split that doesn't come out of the primary agent? So maybe you have an ISA that gets paid 5% of GCI or of whatever it is, and that's actually not coming out of the other agent's pay. So I can show you how that works. If I delete this, so we have our primary agent who's getting paid $56.25, right? We got half going to the brokerage and half going to the agent. And now I want to add in this ISA. So I'm going to say, hey, we had an ISA on this deal. We'll say it's Bob Marley. And, oops, to show ISA. They're not getting any dashboard credit for this deal, but they are getting a percentage of income, and that percentage is going to be 5%. So we'll go ahead and just add that in. And you'll notice it's giving them 5% of that paid income. So they're getting 5% of the paid income that goes to the team, right? You might want them getting 5% of this GCI. So I can actually edit this, and I can say, you know what, it's actually going to be 5% of this GCI. So I'm going to adjust this amount, and I'm going to say it's 562.5, right? And that works really well. But now what you'll notice is this 562.5 is being taken out of the primary agent's income. I actually don't want it that way. I want it coming out of the team's income. So I'm going to go ahead and do a post-split adjustment and say, hey, we got a ISA adjustment here, right? This is actually going to deduct from the team's income. It's going to deduct 562.5 like we just entered. I'll go ahead and add that in. So that's adjusting, that's taking away from what the team's making, and then I'm going to add that back into the primary agent. So I'll say there's an ISA adjustment here as well, and it's going to do 562.5. I'll adjust that. And now it's attributing this income to Bob Marley's dashboard, but it's not taking away from the primary agent's income because that's being adjusted. Whoops, looks like I actually did that as a deduction. I need to do that as an addition, so I'll update that. And now I got the right numbers here, right? That 562.5 is coming out of the team, and it's not coming out of the agent. So surely there will be a lot of ways that we automate this and continue to update this as it's going on. We wanted to kick it out with as much flexibility and the ability to do all of these things that you need to do. It's in a beta right now. We'd love to hear your feedback. Just hit us on the chat box here. Any suggestions that you have. One more thing I should show you is once you finalize all this, just go ahead and hit certified for payment. And it's going to update. So it's going to update all of these numbers. And then my team income will actually be reflected on that. So if I have team income on my transaction field, looks like I don't have it turned on. But if you're looking at that team income field and wondering where it is, it will actually be updated according to this number right here. That's what your actual team income is on the deal. So Hopefully that's helpful. Let us know as you have questions and reach out to us. We'd love to hear your feedback.